Hey guys, starting this live stream just a bit early, just to get stuff ready. I am making my flautas, as some people know them in Mexico, flautas or tacos dorados. And what we have is chicken. So we have a little bit of chicken here. We also have the tortilla rolls that I'm frying over here. But this isn't part of the live that I wanted to stream. I just wanted to showcase it now, I guess, so that way I'm not late. Cast Iron Chaos. Hello, Cast Iron Chaos. Rick. Yes, we're going to do a red rice, which is Mexican style red rice with some tomatoes and some chicken broth. So I did make some chicken and I have my broth right there. And we're going to be making the red rice in here. We're going to see how that goes. I've never done it before, but hopefully I'm hoping that everything turns out great. So, and I do know that acidic food is hard on cast iron. So that's the only thing that I don't want, is for the food to get that iron taste in it. But other than that, I think, I mean, I have the lid for my deep skillet, and I think I think it can be done. I've seen, I think it's Arnie Tex. He's on here on YouTube. We're not sponsoring him or anything like that, but he's a great guy. He looks like a great guy. I've never met him in person, but he has a lot of cool recipes, and I saw that he and his mother made some Mexican red rice in their BS&R. They have a, this one's a Century, but they have a Red Mountain, and I wanted to copy and see if I could do it too. And all that we're doing right now is we're just shallow frying these little rolled up taquitos. In Mexico, they're known as flautas or tacos dorados. It just depends where you're from. For me, I always knew them as flautas. And what's inside? We got chicken. So I boiled some chicken in my Dutch oven over here. And you roll them up and you fry them up, shallow fry them. So far I got, I think, about 10 going. Gonna do, I think, 5 more, or maybe a little bit more, but we're gonna turn down the heat. It's a little hot. We do have the, I'm gonna move you guys, the Birmingham Stove and Range deep skillet or chicken fryer. Beautiful mill marking on this. I've featured it before on the channel, but as you can see, there's some smoke coming off of it. I do have my hood range going, so it is fairly loud. Sorry, but I don't want the house to fill up with a bunch of smoke. Anyway, I'm just going to be frying these real quick, and then we'll get into making the red rice, so bear with me, guys. We'll be starting it soon. Maybe I can adjust you guys to where you guys can see a tiny bit more. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. I say a bit better there. Okay. Alrighty. So what I like doing is wrapping this with damp paper towels. And I put them in the microwave to soften them up. That way they're soft and they won't rip. So then we got some chicken. We're going to do that. Put it there. And then hopefully you guys can see. Nope, you guys can't see. But we roll them up, and then that's how we get them going. We roll them up like that, set them off to the side, get a couple more going. Hopefully it'll stay. Come on. Well, that one's, hopefully it's staying there for now. You don't want to add too much chicken, just enough, to roll up the taco, because otherwise it won't keep its shape. It'll fall apart. And you want them to keep their shape when you shallow fry these. So anyway, let me see if I can move the camera down just a tiny tad. Nope, is that it? I think that's it. Oh, you can see a little bit there. Anyway, I hadn't done a live stream since last year, and it's been a while. So, I definitely wanted to get back on and, stream something for you guys. I enjoy hanging out. So I figured since I was on YouTube this morning, and I was looking at some YouTube videos, and the Arnie Tex video of him and his mother making some Mexican red rice or Spanish red rice in their Birmingham Stove and Range was, popped up on my feed. I was intrigued and I wanted to give it a go, so I hopped on board and I was like, shoot, you know what? I'm probably gonna do that for the live stream. Do a bit of cooking, making some Mexican or Hispanic food, and hopefully it goes well. So I'm hoping for the best here. I don't know exactly how well we're gonna do, but we're hoping for the best. And as I mentioned in the video, I haven't done Mexican style red rice. I've done red rice before, but not in a seasoned piece of cookware. I've done it always on a enamel piece, so we'll see how this goes. Anyway, we're gonna get going. These are the last ones we're gonna fry up. You want to be careful when you set these in here. What you want to do is make sure that they don't unravel, because they will, so be always very, very careful on how you place these. As you can see, this one does not want to stay. We're just going to put this guy over here, and hopefully he will stay. Pick the heat back on. Alrighty, and with the next, and you want to shallow fry all this, so I always recommend that you don't have very much oil in the beginning. You don't want to deep fry. You can deep fry these, but I find it better, less oil if you shallow fry these guys. So there's one, another one. And I guess what you can do too is grab it from here, place them in there. Safer, easier, I suppose. But it doesn't always work out. Sometimes they do unravel. But anyway, I think those are good. And as always, be careful when you are working with hot oil. Let me go grab my laptop so I can see what the chat is talking about. All right. All right, let's see. We're going to start from the bottom. Hippie Longshanks, welcome and hello. Thank you for showing up tonight. Appreciate your guys' time. I haven't bought saffron in years, spent the money on cast iron instead. Saffron is very expensive. I have never bought it, nor have I ever used it in any of my recipes, but I've seen the prices on saffron, very expensive. William Hurt says, I like to use an enameled pan for tomato gravy. Cast iron Chaos, I believe turmeric is considered a cheap alternative to saffron. Oh, I gotta look into that. William Hurt, hello. Rick, hello. Val's Black Cats Rules, hello. Saffron is really expensive, yep. Corey Clark, hello. Cynthia, hello. I want that answer to William. I love yellow rice and the seasoning. Yeah. Pat Z, hello. Good to see you guys. Alrighty. So as I mentioned before, we are using this Birmingham Stove and Range. That is a Century Series deep skillet. And here you can see I do have a lid for it as well. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make some Mexican style red rice. So hopefully it turns out decent. Oh man, I think I'm burning these. Oh no, they're not that bad. Okay, so after a little bit, you guys wanna flip these. Getting carried away over here. And do your best to have them stay and not unravel. A lot harder said than done, I'll be honest. Or a lot easier said than done. Set it backwards. And the chicken's already pre-cooked, so all you got to do is just fry up the tortilla. That's about it. And then I'll get to the red rice. Cast Iron Chaos says you can always use a Dutch oven. Yeah, you don't have to use a deep skillet. You can always use Dutch ovens for things like this, or a skillet. Skillets work great. As I mentioned earlier, we're only shallow frying here. We're not deep frying, so you don't need that much oil. And I think a standard skillet would work here as well. So if you guys want to do this recipe, all you got to do is get some chicken. Make sure you shred it really nicely. Grab some tortillas, throw them in the microwave for a minute or two, depending on your settings, with a damp cloth, and get to rolling the taquitos. And then you just shallow fry, and we'll show you guys in a minute what we're gonna add. So you are gonna need some tomato, some chicken bouillon, chicken broth, and if you guys have your own chicken broth, that's even better. As I mentioned, I did boil the chicken breast here today, and I made my own broth. So there's my broth that I'm gonna be using today for the rice, the Mexican red rice. Here's the taquito rolls, the chicken rolls. And if you guys don't want to do chicken, you can actually make these vegetarian. You can also add potato. You can add chorizo if you guys want chorizo. Cheese, anything that you like, you can fry it here with these little taquitos. But we're doing just chicken today. No, actually, Cast Iron Chaos, that Staub, that is actually their deep one that they were promoting during the holidays. That was retailing for $150 versus what the original price was, I think, at $350. So huge discount if you guys ever jumped on it. I think you could still find it on sale. So if you guys are interested, yeah, this is a 5-quart. It's a forget what size diameter it is, but it's not that wide. So you guys could do that, and it is deeper than the standard ones, which I do like. So as I mentioned, fairly quickly, this goes by really fast. And with that, we're just going to move on to the next thing, which is going to be making the red rice. The first one, a little toasted more than I like, but I think the taquitos look pretty darn good. See here. So be careful, they are hot. But we got chicken rolled up in there. They are chicken tacos. And I already made some salsas. We're gonna add some cabbage, some cilantro, some Mexican casero cheese, mozzarella cheese, sour cream, and it's a whole meal. So, and we're gonna do the red rice to go with it. So what I'm gonna do now is strain this oil. We're gonna get started on the main part that we're gonna do, which is the red rice. All right, so with that, first thing that a little tip that I want to throw out there is since we're going to be steaming today the rice on your lid to avoid it from getting any sort of seasoning damage, what I do recommend is that you add a little bit of oil and then, you know, wipe it down, dry it off with the residual oil that's there. You should be okay for the next round whenever you're going to use this, and you're not going to need to re-season this as frequently. If you add that oil, it will give it a protective layer. So if you guys are going to be steaming anything or using your lids, I do recommend that you add a bit of oil to these before you use them. And believe me, it will help out your seasoning from getting damaged. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that. So I got my lid here, and what we're going to do is just add a tiny tad of cooking oil. As you can see, very minimal. And we're just going to rub it in. And what that's going to do is it's going to give it a protective barrier while, you know, your food is getting steamed or whatever it is that you're cooking in there. It's not going to damage the seasoning once again, as I said. So that's a little tip that I learned from, I can't remember who it was that I saw that from, but definitely not something that I came up on my own. So credit to that one person that showed me or told me about this. Shout outs to you guys. The community always has great tips, and that's what I love about the community. Cast iron community is awesome. All right, got my strainer here for my grease or oil. We're not going to get rid of all the oil because I am going to saute the rice in this oil for a tiny tad before I cook the rice. Alrighty. Whoa, that was close. Thank God that did not spill over. Alright. Clean up my area over here just a little bit. What I am going to do is get rid of some of this leftover residue of the tortillas. I'm going to wipe it down just a tiny tad, not too much, to get rid of the residue from the tortillas and the chicken. Although I would say that it's not something, you know, it's not anything that's going to harm you. All right, so we're gonna need 2 Roma tomatoes, guys, and you don't boil this. You're just gonna blend it. So we're gonna blend it with some garlic powder, onion powder. You can do actual, you know, like shallots or onion, but I prefer doing the powders because the flavor is more consistent versus me doing the actual, you know, the actual onion or the garlic. Sometimes it's not as consistent. So either way, though, whatever your preference is, you can add the fresh garlic or fresh onion. But I'm going to be using the powders today, so bear with me. All right, sorry about that, guys. I went to go get my pre-washed rice. I have jasmine rice here, and we're gonna get cooking pretty soon. But before we get going, I do need to blend the sauce, the red sauce first before we get going. So bear with me while I prepare that. that down. Alright guys, so my kids are very, very picky and they do not like the skin for the tomato or anything like that. So I am going to strain this, but so we're going to need two tomatoes. So we'll throw those in there, and actually what I'm going to do is cut these up before we put them in there. And so I'm going to do 1 cup of jasmine rice and 2 cups of chicken broth, which I also need to strain. Sorry guys, I'm moving things around over here. Alright, come on. My goodness, why are you so heavy? Move over here. Sorry guys. Alrighty. So I'm going to get rid of the top. Get rid of the top. And once I am done prepping all this, I'll jump into the chat, guys. Okay, so we're going to throw the tomatoes in there. And 2 is good for a cup of rice. 2 tomatoes. We don't want it too tomatoey, and I don't like using the tomato cans, so I won't be using tomato cans. I'll just be using the Roma tomatoes. All right, next we're gonna do a little bit of chicken broth. And we're just gonna grab a little bit for the blending of the sauce. So we're just gonna grab whatever I can. Just a tiny, tiny bit, as you can see here. We're not gonna add too much seasoning because there is already seasoning in my broth. So if anything, I will most likely just add a pinch of seasoning to this. Not very much. So we'll do a pinch of onion powder and garlic powder. Bear with me, guys. I'm over here trying to reach. Alrighty, here we go. We got some onion. And we're going to do about a 1/4 teaspoon, I'll say, 1/4. And then also a 1/4 of garlic powder. Not too much. There we go. And we're gonna do a little bit of the tomato paste, not tomato paste, I'm sorry, chicken bouillon. Actually, no, I think since I already added that in the broth, we're not gonna add anything else except for a little bit of salt. So we're gonna do a pinch of kosher salt. Let's say that's good enough. And to be honest, I think what I should do is I should already include the broth in there. So what we're going to do is we are going to include the broth. Put this guy there. We're going to strain it. So we're going to do 2 cups of the chicken broth. Or a little bit less, I want to say. But I'm going to pour it off camera. There we go. Got a little bit over 2 cups of this broth. So we're just gonna pour it in. And in this broth, I did use chicken bouillon, garlic powder, onion powder, and what else? I think it was a half of a shallot. I did use shallots. I also used, I think 2 garlic cloves just to give it a little bit of flavor. And that is about it. The chicken bouillon has more of the seasoning in it, so you don't want to overdo it. Honestly, it could be overdone, in my opinion. So I think that's good. Alrighty, and we're gonna blend this. Alright guys, I would recommend to turn it down just a tiny tad because the blender is right next to the camera. So here we go. Just so you guys can see. Didn't blend as nicely as I would like, but well, it is what it is now. Unless we go a little bit more. All right. Yeah, that. Yes, this is like tomato soup now. Alrighty. And we're gonna strain it once again, so here we go. Okay, and we're gonna put you guys right there. Hopefully you guys can see there. Actually, I might move my cutting board. Move the cutting board, and then hopefully you guys can still see here. Do you go down any further, camera? There we go. A lot better. Sorry about the shaking and the moving, guys. Alrighty, we're getting close to starting the red rice. Bear with me, guys. Vicky, you want to cut the cabbage? Over there. You want this? You want this knife?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright guys, getting things going, that way we can start this. So let me grab a cup of rice. Also, a little tip here that I didn't know about, but the this is to measure liquids, which I didn't know until maybe 3 years ago. And these are for dry. So these are for dry and the other one is for wet. There is a difference, which I did not know. But just a quick little tip. Anyway, we're gonna do 1 cup of the rice. So before I stored my rice, I did wash it, just so you guys know. I know a lot of people you know don't like cleaning their rice. I do. My sister is one of those. She does not clean her rice. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil. Actually, what I should have done was use the oil that I stored, but we're gonna go with that. So we're gonna put that in. Wrong one. Come on. Oh, come on. So much for a very expensive stove that won't turn on. I'm gonna wait. All right, come on. There we go. Yep. We're good. Alrighty, guys, here we go. We're gonna attempt Mexican red rice in the BS&R. This one here is probably my favorite Birmingham stove and range skillet, just because it was never used. So when I got it, it was like original. All I had to do was give it a good cleaning. It wasn't even rusted. I don't know exactly if they provided a coating of beeswax or oil or something, but there was no rust to this, even though it was bare. All I did was give it a good wash and then gave it a coat of seasoning and put it in the oven. Sure enough, with 3-4 coats, it turned bronze. So very happy with this Birmingham stove and range deep skillet. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Here we go. Oh, Rick says hi, Vicky.
Hello. Can you hear me over the vent?
I don't think they can hear you over the vent.
Hello.
Yeah. Vicky says hi, or hello.
Hello. Kids say hi.
Yeah, the kids are also saying hello. So this red rice, Mexican red rice, is not spicy whatsoever. Just tomato based with jasmine rice. So not spicy at all. And this rice goes really well with a lot of Mexican dishes. So you can have it with chilaquiles. You could have it with beans. You could have it with tacos. You can have it with anything. Honestly, anything that you know Mexican dish, you can have Mexican red rice. It's like beans. You can have beans with almost anything. The other day I was on TikTok and I was watching how some people were saying, "Who eats beans for breakfast?" And I was thinking to myself, I used to eat beans in the morning for breakfast with egg. And I would make it into a sandwich. It would be like a torta, like a, what's that? Like a telera bread. But anyway, here we go. Alrighty. Oil is nice and hot. Oh my goodness, I just spilled half of my rice on the stove and not in the pan. What you want to do is toast it up until it changes a bit of its color. And then we'll add we'll lower the heat, and we'll add the tomatoes, the tomato base. I just cleaned my stovetop too. Figures. Alrighty, let's see. Where is my? Here it is. I recommend that you guys, if you guys ever have a chance, go to a restaurant store. This is a Volrath rubber spatula, high heat. These are awesome. Volrath might not make cast iron cookware at the moment. I think they stopped not a while, years ago. But they do make carbon steel cookware, and they also make a lot of utensils for professional kitchens. And if you guys have a chance, you guys can buy a lot of their stuff at a commercial supply store, a restaurant supply store, and they have a lot of awesome products. Even though I'm sad that they don't continue to make cast iron, that would have been nice. So make sure that you have the heat on low, don't get it too blazing hot. And we're going to stir this around quite a bit. You don't want to burn it or char it completely. Which this is already getting very nice color, so this is going to be moving fairly quickly. This is why I prepped the tomato sauce before I did the sautéing here with a little bit of oil. And as I mentioned, if you guys want to add, onion or garlic, you can. You don't have to use the powders, but I do recommend that you also use either chicken stock. You can use water, but I prefer chicken stock. It gives it a better flavor. Also, you can do chicken bouillon or that chicken bouillon powder, but I prefer the Better Than Bouillon. Not sponsored or anything like that, but I do like that brand a lot. My wife likes it a lot too, and she's the one that got me using that instead of the Knorr chicken bouillon. Even though I want to say that we've cooked with Knorr chicken bouillon exclusively since I don't know when. But ever since I was a kid, I know that that's what my mother would use whenever she cooked any kind of meal. She would use Knorr chicken bouillon. And what I did right now is I lowered the heat, guys, to a low. So it is low. It was in the beginning, it was on a high. I moved it down to a low because it was toasting fairly quickly, and I wanted to slow it down a bit. But we're just going to be moving this constantly, not letting it stay in one place, because you are prone to burning it, and you don't want to burn that. You don't want to burn the rice. And this should be, I want to say, it should be ready in about 10 minutes. If you have everything prepped and ready, this should take about 10 minutes. Alrighty, I think I'm good with this. Just so you guys can see, I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. You see some golden bits. I don't know how well you can see it, but that's technically what I'm looking at. So there we go. We're ready to place the sauce in there. And once again, I'm going to strain it. So what I'm going to do is actually turn that off. It's almost like toasting sesame seeds. Once again, like I said, my family is very particular about their tomato sauces, so I am going to strain it once again. So here we go. That is hot. And I do have the heat off, just so you guys know. Also, I would recommend that you use a little spoon here to press down and get rid of, or get the liquid going. That way it doesn't just sit in place. So this moves fairly quickly. But there's that. We're gonna continue pouring this. And the last bit. There we go. Stir it once again. And that way you don't have any bits. Because my kids and my wife, they don't like the bits. So here we are. So getting rid of that. Now we're just gonna stir a tiny tad. And hopefully crossing fingers that everything turns out fine. Now we're gonna cover. Actually, we're gonna turn the heat back on. So there we go, heat's on. We're gonna stir it a bit. Clean the rim. Right now I do have it on a high. Once I see bubbles forming and it starts to simmer, then we'll lower the heat, and then what we'll do is that we'll cover it. I think that looks good to me. We're just gonna let that come up to a simmer.
I need a potty.
You need to go potty? Go upstairs. All right, so yeah, now it's coming to a simmer. What we're gonna do is lower the heat, and we're gonna cover now. We're gonna leave it cracked open just a bit on this side, so we have a little bit of that steam coming out. And that's about it. We're gonna go 10 minutes, guys. Mark the time for 10 minutes. Let me know when the 10 minutes elapse. In the meantime, I'm gonna check the chat and see what's going on over there on that side. All right, just cleaning up a bit. This is very interesting because I've never done this before, and to be honest, I'm concerned about the. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm concerned about the seasoning, and I'm hoping that this isn't going to be a bust, and then I'm going to get the flavor, you know, from the iron pot transferred over to the rice. And my deep skillet here, the Birmingham, it does have a good coat of seasoning. Is it really, really, you know, great? No, I think it could have been a little bit better. I could have used my other, my other Birmingham, that my other Century series that I have that has really good seasoning. But I wanted to give this one a try. I like this one, and I haven't really used it very much in the on the channel, so I figured it'd be a great way to showcase it. All right, let's see. What are you guys talking about? Cynthia says, what pan is he using there? I am using the Birmingham Stove and Range Century Series deep skillet. Corey Clark says, Walmart brand frozen Mexican food sucks. I have not tried it. Mercy B says, oh shoot, I almost lost it there. Mercy B says, it should be okay if it's cleaned after a greased and greased again. Yeah. I mean, no, I think it can be done. I don't think that we're going to have an issue. The only thing that I'm saying is just whether the rice is going to absorb the flavor, not necessarily the flavor, but the iron from the cast iron, since it is seasoned and not enameled. So I'm hoping that the flavors don't transfer into the food. That's what I'm hoping for. I'll let you guys know. I'll have my taste testers give it a go. William Hurt says, I love that pan. Yes, like I said, this one is my favorite Birmingham. Besides the 14 that I got, I think it's the 14. Number 12, I think, actually, number 12. No, it's a 12-inch Birmingham that I showcased on the channel about a month or so ago. That one's also one of my favorites, but from Birmingham, this one has to be my favorite so far. Let's see, what else? Rick says that we have several street corners here in our little rural town that look like little Tijuana with taco stands. Rick, I think you mentioned you were around the Southern California area or Southern Nevada area, I believe. Val's Black Cat Rule says, we also have the Mighty Taco. Not really Mexican food, but better than the Taco Bell. Better than the Bell. I've never heard of, what is this? Mighty Taco. I know I shouldn't be picking, but I want to take a peek. Oh yeah. That is simmering away. I'm worried that I might burn it, so I'll probably, around the 7-minute mark, guys, let me know when that 7-minute mark comes around and we will turn off the heat. Let's see, what else do we have? Mercy B says, that was a good burrito. I guess you had a burrito? The rice he is making would have went well with it. Yep, I agree. Oh, Rick says, pro tip here, Sam's Club has the spatulas made by Volrath for members. Awesome. As I mentioned, I do like the Volrath high heat rubber spatulas. They're awesome. William Hurt says that I love the Mexican lunch trucks too. My wife calls it, what do you call it? The roach coach? Yeah, that's what she calls them. Where did you hear that anyway? Yeah. Yeah, I called it roach coach for a while because my wife called it that. But they're very well known here now as the taco trucks or the catering trucks or the food trucks. But yeah, in the beginning, I want to say before they were, more mainstream, I used to call them the roach coach as well. I have no idea why. It sounds bad. My wife did not. She grew up in a very. Oh God, I won't even let you guys know. My wife is definitely not from the city. Well, she is from the city, just a very, very poor part of the city. So was I. We grew up poor. We still are. What are we? Bougie broke? We are bougie broke. William Hurt says, we construction guys have been calling that for... Oh, see, look, that's a thing. So roach coach is a thing then. Sam Cook says, half the trucks here have their own restaurants also. Yeah, that's always a thing. If you have a taco truck, you most likely have a restaurant as well. Cynthia says, bigger chances in people's house of getting roaches than the food trucks. Yes, I agree. Val's Black Cat's Rule says, when you say roach coach, everyone knows what you're talking about. Okay, so it's not a weird thing then. I'm glad. All right, guys, what are we at? Are we at the 7-minute mark? Oh, man, we're still going. Just so you guys can see a little sneak peek right here. And as I mentioned, I do have this on a very low. Rick says, we used to call them Riach coaches too. I think he misspelled roach. But Riach coaches. Val says 3 more minutes. Thank you, Val. Debbie says, Daddy loves them made out of deer meat. They're good to buy. I love the pork ones. I think I missed like tacos or sandwiches, Debbie. I don't think I caught the previous. Let's see. Oh, tamales. Really? There's people that made them out of. I guess somebody made tamales out of deer meat. The pork ones, yeah, I don't like the pork ones. My wife and I are all about chicken. Chicken or cheese, so we do the vegetarian ones too. The rajas, which is not bell peppers, but what are they? Is it poblano?
Yeah, rajas.
So it's roasted poblanos and a little bit of serrano, I think, and then you add some cheese and tomatoes. Oh, jalapeno, cheese and tomatoes. And they're strips, so they're julienne. Cut into julienne. All right. I think, Val's, what are we at on the time? Do you think I can shut it off now and let it just steam cook from now? Because I think you're supposed to let it steam cook for another 5 minutes. So I want to say maybe give it another minute or so. Val's Black Cat's Rule says, could you do a falafel and tamales? I am not sure. Possibly. Honestly, nowadays, you could do anything. I've seen people do birria ramen. I've seen people do birria tortas, birria chilaquiles. You get all kinds of mixtures of food nowadays, which is awesome because I like the mixtures of food. William Hurt says, been 10 minutes. All right, I'm going to shut it down. So there we go. I did shut it down. Alrighty, so shut down now, and we're just going to let it steam cook now the rest of the way. Hopefully it'll cook off. Yep, looks like it will. That way we don't burn the bottom of this rice, because I believe that I might be close to burning it. One thing about the cast iron is that you do have to take into account that it retains heat like crazy and it absorbs heat like crazy. Obviously, once you get it up to temperature. What else, Vicky? Do we need a cut, or do we need to cut the cheese? No, for the flautas, I thought you do the cabbage. Oh, we do have cheese. You're right. Never mind. No, oh, technically, yeah. I made my wife this morning chilaquiles. She's saying it's pretty much the same meal, which is probably true, just in a different manner. Well, technically, all meals are the same thing, just obviously prepared differently, Victoria.
No, that one is like the same thing. Tortilla, salsa.
Yeah, but those are like the main ingredients to Mexican dishes. I mean, tortillas is like,
The tortilla?
yeah, that's like the main salsas. I don't know about chicken, but
Oh, wait, right.
no, it's always jalapenos. So it's always salsas, jalapeno, tortillas. That's the main, like the main ingredients that you need to make Mexican food. All right, I'm gonna start plating so you guys can see. And and that way my wife can also taste the rice, and she'll be my taste tester. So if anything happens to her, you guys know why. Actually, my wife's anemic. She needs the iron. One thing is that you're not supposed to be doing what I do. So like, don't keep opening it up. I'm just curious to see how we're going along. So I'm gonna plate, and once I'm done plating, then we'll take the lid off and we'll see how it turned out. So bear with me. I'm gonna start plating. Oh yeah, you didn't rinse it? That's nice. All right, guys. My wife did not rinse the cabbage, so now I have to clean it. So once again, bear with me, guys. I will be plating soon so you guys can see, and then we'll do the reveal at the end. And I think we'll call it a night after that. But hopefully this turns out, and hopefully it's not a bust. So bear with me, guys, while I clean the cabbage. You can find me.
You're mad. Better fix the cabbage.
You didn't. All right. Shaking all the water off the cabbage. And let's get a plate going. Oh, you know what? I could probably turn off the hood vent. Sorry, guys. That is very loud. Now you guys can hear the background noise of my kids watching TV. All right. Move this out of the way. Yeah, and you know what, guys? We prefer using cabbage instead of lettuce. I mean, you guys can use lettuce, but I feel like the lettuce is just too watery, and it just makes a mess. Like it just gets everything, like damp and wet, and your tacos aren't crispy anymore. And the cabbage, it retains the moisture. So when you take a bite, it's not pretty much damp now. All right, let's see. What else do we need? Oh, that's right. I think we're getting close to the 5-minute mark for the rice. So let's take a look at it real quick. And let's fluff the rice. Now let's keep our fingers crossed that this works. Oh yeah, looks good. Here's a lid. As you can see, no damage to the seasoning, which is nice. All I got to do right now before I leave it alone is I got to dry it off. Otherwise, it can damage the seasoning. But yeah, so if you guys add a bit of oil to the lid prior to using it, you guys can avoid having to re-season it. As you can see, it looks great. No steam damage at all, on the seasoning whatsoever. So there's that. Here we go. Let's take a look at the rice. I think we did a pretty good job. Now let's fluff it and let's see the bottom. Let's see if we did indeed do a good job. I have a little rice fluffer here. So what I do want to see is actually the bottom of this. Oh yeah. See, no burning, guys. Oh yeah, it turned out great. Vicky, come here and taste it real quick. I don't know where my wife went. Oh. Tell me, what do you think of it?
Big old spoon.
Try it. What do you think? Hot?
Yeah.
Did you? Well, yeah.
It's really good.
It's good. Can you taste?
You can taste the chicken, the real stock.
No, I know that, but I'm saying because I did this in this, and usually I do it in enamel because.
Oh, can I taste the iron and metal? No.
Yeah. You can't taste the metal?
No.
Good. Although I'm not going to leave it here, I am going to transfer it to a bowl because after a while it can leach. The flavor can leach into the cast iron or into the food. I'm sorry. But yeah, look at that, guys. It turned out pretty good. So if you guys are interested in making Mexican-style red rice, here you go. You guys can do it in cast iron as well. Especially if you go camping and you want to make some rice for camping, I think this is a great alternative. You don't have to bring along a enameled or anything like that, because this in itself, this deep skillet has a lot of use. You can fry, you can bake, you can make stews, gravies, you name it. That's why I wanted to showcase the deep skillet here. And to my surprise, obviously, because I was very skeptic, it did great. Very happy with this. Very, very happy. So, I'm glad that it turned out great. I feel like for the first live this 2024 year, I think it's a success. So once again, guys, if you guys have any questions before we move on or, end the stream, because I am gonna plate this. Actually, I'll take a photo and I'll post it just so you guys can see what the plating looks like. But I will, my family's hungry, so I will be plating and having them eat. But I'll take photos and post them on the here on YouTube. So look out for that. Might do a little short so you guys can see. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know before we head out. As I mentioned, I appreciate everybody showing up. And I do hope that everybody had a lovely and great New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Hoping that everybody's doing good. Papa Dan, I did know that you were having some issues. He did send me a text message, so thank you so much, Papa Dan, for that lovely message. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. I think next stream we'll do a giveaway, and the next stream I might consider. I have some modern day cast iron cookware that is the higher end tier stuff. I might consider doing a giveaway for the new stuff that I have. I just have no use for it, and I have it here, and I don't know. I was planning on giving it away for Christmas, but my family does not have any use for cast iron cookware because they have already a lot of cookware, and I have given my family members a decent amount of cookware already. So they specifically told me no cast iron, which is fine with me, no problem. But I feel like I can give it to those that love cast iron cookware and will appreciate it. So next stream, we might do a giveaway with that. I'm not sure yet which one. So with that, let me know if you guys have any questions. Oh, my sister is on the chat here. She's saying it looks delicious. It does. Let's see what else. Cynthia Wesley says, thank you, Luis and family, for having us back home. Yes, I missed you guys. Like I said, I hope you guys had a lovely New Year's. And here's to a prosperous new year, and wishing that everybody has a lovely new year or a lovely year this year. So I have high hopes. As I said, there's a lot of plans in the works. Also, quickly, I just want to mention that also Stargazer reached out, and I'm doing, I guess I could talk about it a little bit, but Stargazer reached out and they sent me 3 cast iron pieces, and I am doing a little bit of product like updates for them. So they have 3 skillets that they shipped over to me, and I'm going to be cooking in those and then shipping them back. I will give them like information on my thoughts on the way they cooked or the way they handled and the way they seasoned. They are going to do some revisions to their current lineup, and they might, I don't know exactly what they might do, but they might change the finishing process of their skillets. So if you guys are interested into some Stargazer news, that's so far the only thing that I can share with you guys. I can't share more, but yeah, I am doing a little bit of product revision for them, and they shipped over some skillets for me to give a go, and I'm gonna send them back after a couple weeks. But anyway, as I mentioned, I have a lot of things planned for this year, and here's to hoping that everything goes well. So with that, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I think today's cook was a success. So with that, everybody have a lovely the rest of your night. Have a safe night, guys. If you guys are going to bed, great. I know in the East Coast it's already really, really late over there. It's already 10 o'clock. So thank you guys once again. I appreciate everybody who showed up. And as always, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being always here for us. And I will catch you guys on the next live stream. As I mentioned, look for the post I'll be posting of the meal that I prepared today. So I'll be posting that on YouTube and my social media accounts. But have a good night, everybody.